think everyone just literally put like AI like on the back of their logo. It's like right here, they just put like wrote AI on. And then as people came into the booth, it's like, we're AI. We have AI.
Yeah.
We have AI. We're using AI.
Welcome back to Qore Conversations. This is where we never stop having AI conversations, right, Todd?
Absolutely. That's all that's on my mind.
With me, as always, Mr. Todd Smith, serial entrepreneur, car guy, not just a traditional car guy, digital car guy, and very much an AI car guy. If you don't know Todd, well, I'd be shocked by that. And if you're not following on LinkedIn, you're completely missing out. He puts out more content than anybody that I know, especially on AI and automotive. So welcome back to another conversation. Todd, I know that you have been on the road a lot. You're talking to a lot of dealers. You're having a lot of conversation. And I even saw, I think that just today, you talking about in 2026 that AI is actually really taking off. And it does feel like it's certainly an airplane, maybe a rocket. But that also means that we start the real learning opportunities, the real lessons, and it starts to reveal some things. As you're traveling right now, and obviously AI is getting traction, what are you starting to hear and see out there that that are exciting to you, and then also maybe some things that are concerning you?
Yeah, I mean, exciting. I think dealers are leaning in a little bit more. They're constantly like pulling me aside, like, "Hey, I just got ChatGPT. Is this all I need?" Or, "Hey, what is Claude and what's the difference?" And I had one dealer who's like, "I have Grok," and I was like, "Well, Grok's really good at roasting you and making images of stick figures turn into really cool creatures." But I think there's probably some better tools if you're using it in the auto space. So I definitely see dealers wanting to lean in, build some strategy. They want to also get control of it though. I think that's the fear right now is if I give all my employees access to this, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, and maybe tapping into a little bit of things that might be concerning you. For me, there are so many people talking about AI, many of whom we know personally, and they were never particularly deep in their technical abilities in the first place. But there are so many voices. Does it concern you that dealers are having a hard time identifying who they should listen to and maybe more importantly, who they should trust?
Look, of course, this is not the first time this has happened, right? Internet was the same. Now everyone is jumped into the AI puddle, as I would say, and they have enough information that they feel the dealer would believe it, but not a lot, zero technical skill or technical depth. So definitely, look, it's just the nature of probably every business, but it definitely shows up in auto. I think NADA was a great view of that. I think everyone just literally put like AI like on the back of their logo. It's like right here, they just put like wrote AI on. And then as people came into the booth, it's like, we're AI. We have AI. We have AI. We have AI. We're using AI. And look, I get it. Everyone's trying to sell products, and you can't fault that piece. But there is a point that I've told every dealer: you have to educate yourself. Not necessarily just what vendors want to say. That means actually read outside the industry, see what actual AI experts and true leaders like Andrew Ng and other guys like in the industry are talking about, because you also pick up the subtle tales of not only what they're talking about, but why they're talking about those things right now. Whether they're the limitations of AI, whether they're coming or current breakthroughs. I feel like Claude is working with an alien race because their ability to build product and come out with new things is insane. The pace. It was like, oh, Claude Code's amazing. And it's like co-work, discovery, and it's like this proliferation of like products. And I'm like, what? Do they just have like an alien workforce in the back? Building all these tools. They have released more tools in the last 90 days than I've seen any company release. And it's also, but it's case in point. I think they ended last year, or they ended 2024 at like $1 billion in rev. They ended 25 in like 19 billion in rev. 1
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
19
they're
but 19x growth with a B, not
yeah,
million.
right.
Billions in actual ARR revenue. So I was like, whoa. And they're already first quarter, they're in the like mid 20s.
Yeah.
So you're seeing such an acceleration. And that's what's like software's never been like this, Sean, ever.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm.
you
Their
usually
pace
like
is
build or
amazing.
yeah, you build, you debug, QA, deploy, feedback, but that loop is just got crushed. Like
Yeah.
it's like
It
the
it's
iteration cycle is just nuts.
it's incredible.
Yeah,
And, when you think about that from the dealer's perspective, there are
yeah,
so many dealers. I think many, many more dealers that need trusted resources. They don't need to just follow the shiniest, or the loudest voice.
right.
And you talk about them kind of, everybody's kind of getting in the puddle or splashing in the puddle now. But I know, from my perspective, curious to know what you think is how do you, when you're talking, because you are on the road a lot, like
Yep.
road warrior for sure. How do you have that conversation with dealers where you're trying to be an advocate for them and give them good advice on making sure that they not only educate themselves, but they pay very close attention to who might be their translator, right, of what this stuff means. Because a lot of dealers that either convince themselves that they don't have the time or they just genuinely are not interested and don't want to admit it, they end up falling prey to those who are trying to translate AI knowledge or what they should or shouldn't be doing, and that ends up being really costly, and it won't be the first time that that happens to a lot of dealers as well, that they trust somebody else that they shouldn't. What are you saying to dealers when you're kind of having those types of conversations?
I told a room of dealers if you are not going to, over the next 12 months, in personally invest the time to learn about this technology and to look at your business from a completely different lens, sell your store.
Mm,
Because I just don't see, and maybe I'm okay, maybe I'm absolutely crazy to say this. That wouldn't be the first time, Sean, but I think we are seeing compounding change now. We're not seeing that linear kind of, hey, things are just going like this. We're seeing like, like this movement of change that,
mhm.
and where I focus, like if you remember Moore's law, right? Where chip capacity doubled every 18 months and it held firm for, I think, a close to 50 years, right? And that was based on two data inputs. Up until we got to like nano chip technology and other things, and everything, then kind of multiple things broke that scaling law. There is a scaling law for AI, and it's called Meter, METR.org. They use 15 plus data points, and they're measuring work capacity of an agentic agent. Super interesting. But when it first started, it was seconds, right? It could work uninstructed anymore by a human. It just said, hey, go do this. And think about it. A lot of times we use it and we just ask it a quick question, and within 10 to 20 seconds, we get an answer back. But through time, AI has been able to do more and more of the workload untouched by humans during a process. So right now, as starting at the end of 2025 into 2026, it was over 10 hours of unassisted, fully autonomous work.
Mm,
That's going to jump to 20, 30 or more hours. Then it's going to jump to 100 hours. Then it's going to jump to 1,000 hours. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. So this law and why this law is important, there's no end in sight right now. And what you're going to do is scale the capability of humans to a rate that is almost incomprehensible. Meaning I could have 5 or 7 agentic employees, I'll call them my digital workers, working for me. And these 5 people will do the work of 500 people over what the 500 people would accomplish in a year, My few digital workers will do it in weeks.
Mm.
And that is such a mental leap. And that's what I told the dealers. I said, we're entering a time where you won't be able to throw bodies at stuff anymore.
Mm.
You're going to have to build digital bodies. And those digital bodies, those are the ones that are going to enable you to cross, to me, efficiency thresholds. And that should be the game we're playing now anyway. So when I talk
Yeah.
about operations, I believe that efficiency is our true last horizon.
Mm. Well, it's certainly the age of opportunity for that, without a doubt. For an industry that has, for whatever reason, struggled to adhere to or even create processes that will be maintained within store. There's so much success and failure stories to be told of dealers who nailed that and they have accountability built in and maybe they hit the luck of the draw with all the right people and they will follow all those things. But we're not living in that world anymore. Or if you are living in that world, it's being encroached by the AI world where there's so much that can be done through AI, both from the technology side as well as what it ends up doing in replacing what some of those human hands were required to do. And the brains. I mean, almost in every business, you're investing in the brains that know how to figure it out and build the workflows and do these things, and then you're investing in the hands, the people that actually do the things. And everything that you're talking about is the place where dealers should really, I think, be paying very, very close attention. If you're willing to, and I used to say this when I did a lot of speaking engagements on digital advertising, whether it was in the Google realm or whatever, I would stand in front of dealers all the time and say, "Don't trust me. Don't believe me. You need to take whatever notes you thought were worthy of taking. Go back and now do your own research so that you know it's true. Like don't just trust anybody. Because if you
Right.
just write an extra check to go to the AI conference, or like we just decided to add some AI before we start our conference, or we put
Right.
an AI panel, which is like the death of value in any conference, is more panels, which always just suck.
Yeah.
If you're willing to
Even
do
that
that, one,
hyper-growth stuff. You need polarization for panels to.
yes,
You need
you
the
gotta
guy that
challenge, you
AI
gotta
is
make
gonna
people.
kill us all, and you need the other guy like AI is gonna bring nirvana, and you need to put them at the ends of this and go at it. I don't think, we don't need a bunch of yes people. And I think if we look at this for dealers, look, if a dealer is listening today, if you are not opening every weekly manager meeting with who used AI this week, what did you do with it? Show us. You are already failing. I think this is job one, that leadership has to roll this in to everyday thinking. And even in our company, I think we look at everything through a very different lens today than we did even 6 months ago, a lot because of Claude Code and capability, where we look at something and we'll say, first off, can we do this directly with AI, or do we need a human to build it?
Mm,
That's a crazy different conversation. And
yeah.
I think for dealers, it's the same. Do we need another employee, or can we use AI to build something ourselves, right? With a low no code tool, whether it's the lovable like Claude Code, if you want to be a little bit more advanced, or take your pick of platform today to be able to do this, Codex, whatever. So I look at that as you have to change your thinking patterns and create different frameworks today. That to me is a key thing that I still see missing in retail. Everybody is still talking, how many units do we do? And it's after it already happened, or why these cars age out. And yeah, I get all those things, but you're living Groundhog Day. You've been having those conversations for years. We need to inject some new thinking, and that requires new frameworks.
Mm. When dealers start thinking differently and they do take that self education seriously, and they, with the amount of people that you're talking to on a daily basis, when you meet dealers that are in that realm, there's probably still a smaller minority of dealers in that group. But when you meet those people and they're ready to start to adopt some things, are there places that you feel like are the most comfortable starting points for a dealer who begins to educate and understand how AI should be implemented? I mean, do
Yeah,
you
I feel like everyone's different, right, Sean? I mean, I'll say this: roll up your sleeves, download ChatGPT or Claude, start asking it questions. When you don't know what to ask, have it prompt you. Say, "Hey, I want to build a marketing plan, but I don't know where to start. What questions do you need to know about my dealership to help me do what I'm trying to do?"
Yeah.
And AI is going to give me the answer and or give me the questions, and I'm going to go through that process. And I'm going to learn what you need to learn today is collaboration. Learn to collaborate with the tools first. Because once you learn that, I think it starts opening up a framework that's very different than just buying a product and plugging it into your dealership. Now you're looking at how am I going to coexist with these tools inside my current operation and what value can I extract from them? And I think it's a very different conversational path than what many dealers. I feel where you start is on your phone,
Yeah.
asking questions, getting feedback. I mean, look, I have one of my GBD set up. I'll go walk, put my headphones in, and I'll argue with it for 45 minutes while I walk the dog to collaborate around something that we're building. Or maybe it's like, I want to argue like how I'm approaching QoreAI to the market. Or are we doing a good job? Here's the current feedback I've been getting. So am I not positioned 100% correctly yet? Like I literally will argue with this thing. And I found like that is so different than things we've done in the past. You know, we would have hired a marketing agency and, you know, and they would have went back and charged us a lot of money to maybe try to figure it out. And they'd be no closer than anyone. They would just come up with an idea that looks, sounds good. And hey, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. So I think it was getting closer to the source and using AI to cut the crap out, curate the actuals, and get us to answers faster. So I, again, believe in this collapse of how do I get to an answer faster than my competitors? And dealers have to start thinking that way as well.
Yeah.
Because many dealers today live in Excel. They spend their whole morning, an hour to two, looking and cross tabulating reports with pivot tables. And they are the cognitive connector to figure things out. But we have this amazing agentic tools today that will auto do that for us. It'll find the patterns. It'll find the weaknesses. It'll find where you are trending, where you don't even see it yet. So to me, AI is powerful to offload some of that cognitive lift and allow me to focus on strategy while I can have the machines do a lot of the processing on my behalf. That's a massive shift in how we think and approach work.
Yep.
But the smartest companies are doing that today, whether they're auto, tech, or whatever they are. And I think that's a big shift, but dealers have to lean into that.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned your advocacy for collaboration and even the example of you talking with the LLM as you're walking the dog. I do that same thing. I open up, my trusty favorite, conversational LLM and have conversations back and forth,
Right.
just like you described. I'm trying to do these things. Push back on me. Don't tell me everything I want to know. Like, don't use this confirmation bias that you normally would. Let's have this dialogue back and forth. And sometimes it's things to help with my business. Sometimes it's things relative to the clients that I work with. Sometimes it is just really left field. But it is such an important exercise, and I love that you are advocating for it and recommending it, because that actually might be one of the easiest points of entry, as long as you can figure out how to download the app on your phone and not one of the junk ones that it really isn't. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
super easy to
Yeah.
just go to grab OpenAI and get Chat GPT on your phone if you want to start there. Claude, same thing. It's super, super easy. But
Yeah.
that is a great place to say, I don't even know where to start, but this is what I do. I'm a dealer principal. I'm a general manager.
Right.
And I struggle with some of these things. Ask me some questions that would help me be better. How can I save some time? How could I? That is such a great recommendation.
Yeah, and then
More
go
people need
even
to do that.
further, like you said, like, "Hey, cut out the bull crap and don't patronize me." Dude, go in to Claude or ChatGPT. Set those instructions that it's always running that way. Like,
Yes.
I don't want it to go, "Todd, that's a wonderful idea. Let me help you take it
Right.
to the next level." And I'm like, "Dude, you're wasting tokens to me." Like, I just want the facts. And if it's
Right.
not grounded in that, I have no interest. And I said,
Yeah.
I don't want you to like applaud my efforts. I don't
Yeah.
want you to tell me that I'm doing a good job or that's a great idea because it's not a great idea until someone buys it and enough people buy it. And we can't
Right.
determine that from having a conversation. So to me, it's like, let's just boil it down to only fact based responses. So
Yeah.
I've kind of again tweaked. I continue to tweak mine, and I get new ideas, or like I want to compress it that it's doesn't use a lot of tokens. Like you don't want to give it like some crazy length of instructions either, because you're having to insert that every time. You're chewing up just context window capability. So I want to get as much of the brain thinking as I can especially when you're doing like deep work. But I definitely find, and look, I have dealers that I would say absolutely I've probably gone crazy the ones I like Scott Falcone, right? Hyundai dealer, World Auto Group. Man, that guy's like building all his own tools now, like for the
Yeah.
whole store, like in there building away. And you're like, okay, that's not normal for dealer principal. But he also realizes that what's at stake. Like he's caught on. Dwayne Sanders at Santa Barbara Auto Group also caught on. Like I'm finding more and more of these dealers, they are catching on. They are working at it. It was funny. I was just down at Bob Boast, Volkswagen. I think it was last week, and I got Steve literally building right here his
Love it.
first app to hold better manager meetings. So I was like, just pop open lovable.dev. Do not go to lovable.com. Okay. Go to lovable.dev, especially if you're on a work computer.
Why
That
are you
said,
telling them that? Why are you
yeah,
telling them that distinction?
because if you go to lovable.com, it's dot lovable. Different type of site. So, but you have to go to lovable.dev for dev. So
Audience
anyway,
appreciates your clarification, Mr. Smith.
yeah, you don't want lovable showing up on your work computer. I don't think. I don't lovable.com. What was on it again? Uh, yeah,
Don't
it's
share your screen.
I'm not. It's mix and match lingerie. That's
Okay.
what lovable is. So you probably don't want that popping up. So,
Yeah.
but Steve, I was like, he wanted, to have better control of his manager meetings. So I was like, well, let's build a better agenda for the manager meeting with checklist that goes out to all the manager heads that they fill out. So it comes back, consolidates it. So you have really efficiently run leadership meetings. That's all being tracked. He goes, how do we do
Yeah.
this? I was like, we built it in 35 minutes in Lovable. And I only use that as an example of someone who's never coded in his life was able to build a tool today that he can use every week with his team. I just,
That's,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not trying to run myself out of business either, but I do realize that we have to start thinking that there are a lot of things that dealers can do themselves today that they don't need to rely on third-party software.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
we're not in the realm of scarcity anymore, of protecting everything. It's abundant, and you just need to know. You've said this before. Like the horses are already racing. Like if you're still like trying to buy a horse and get it ready to run, like
Yeah, the horses
you
are
know
out. They're like
that.
they're already past the first turn.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I don't know. Again, I like you. I talk to enough dealers. And they're like, "Well, we're meeting about it." I'm like, "What are you meeting about?" Tell
Yeah.
me. Well, we're going to meet about it and decide. What are you deciding? Well, we don't know how to best use it. Well, how would you know? Well, and I'm like, okay, like I feel like the little kid of this argument where I'm just why? But like better get very clear. And I tell every dealer, you don't need a plan, you just need to start. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that, the starting starts to unravel, like pulling the string, exposing more and more. And through that more and more, then you start to see like, hey, let's build a daily tool and save an hour per manager's time across 10 stores per
Yep.
day. Wrap that up to a year. That's an amazing amount of physical time savings of our most valuable asset, right? Our time. So I start looking at that time compression. That's how you should look at it. How are you going to leverage AI to be more operationally efficient?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for us, it comes into those, like, I look at data first, right? Do the hard work, got to get data organized, clean. Workflows. If your workflows are not mapped, how are you going to let an AI figure that out? It's not going to happen. Just like AI is not going to clean up your data, AI is not going to go in and understand your workflows and how they interconnect between departments, software used, all of that. Not going to figure it out. So you
Yeah.
need data, workflows, then AI.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people get that wrong. They get it really wrong.
Well, they flipped it.
Um,
It's like,
yeah.
let's do AI. And you're like, no, doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Do you think a good place for ideas would be for that dealer who's like, okay, I'm going to start just talking to the LLM? If they said, because I had a conversation with a dealer friend that I've known for a long time, small market dealer at NADA, and I was telling him about, oh, I'm building this and I'm doing, I get all excited about AI. I've always loved to kind of have my hands in the garden on all this stuff. And I was telling him about some of the things that you and I talk about usually before we start recording. And he was like, how do you have time? Like, where do you start? He was like, just where do you start? And I'm like, I don't know that it's so much where you start. It's just that you just need to start something. And I said, if you had Chat GPT, even if you didn't put it on your phone and you wanted to have a typing conversation or you get Whisper Flow or just you actually connect your microphone and use Chat GPT's built in talk to it versus typing. I
Right.
said, if I were you, I would start with the things that you lose sleep over. Like if there's something that, if it's a training issue, if it's a hiring issue, if it's a, how do we get more profitable in fixed ops? If it's, how do we get more RORs across the board? Like whatever it is that is, because it may not be the same. There may be some common things for all dealers, but there's probably some things that are unique to you. Start with that conversation. These things keep me up at night. I'm trying to figure out, are there ways for me to solve these problems? And it'll literally just put you into a new world that conversation will make you think differently. And you
Yeah.
just need a little starter, something that jogs your brain to start to think differently.
Right.
When you're on the road, do you, and you're talking to dealers and you're a room for full of dealers, are you meeting ones now that some of them are doing that kind of thing where they're having a little, okay, I'm starting to do this, and then they ask you questions based on kind of where they are in their infancy of, or at least they're maybe not quite literate, but they look to you as an expert?
Yeah. Far from the expert, as you know, but I will absolutely say this. I think dealers, yes, they are using it. And I always say one thing when we think about a problem, we'll maybe think of like two or three angles around it. You now have access to a box that could give you thousands of different scenarios simultaneously and game them all out.
Mhm.
Huge leverage point where we never had that capability before. That you could analyze every potential outcome simultaneously that could happen if you do this type of, hey, we're going to make this change. Show me all of the impact points. Let's say we're going to change the sales pay plan. How is this positively, negatively, or neutrally affecting the team? What are all the potential outcomes of ways people would see that?
Mhm. Yeah.
I think so. I think a lot of dealers they're using the tools, and again, it's okay to be figuring it out. Everybody's figuring it out. That's part of the journey, and
Yep.
this is how, like, good example, as you said, like, where do you start? It's just like going to the gym. You know, walk on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So pick up ChatGPT, start asking it questions. Don't even pick
Yeah.
up a weight yet. Like don't build an agent. Don't like you're not gonna do all this. Or don't buy a Mac Mini and get OpenClaw running and drain your bank account or credit card because you didn't know how to hook it up. Like, don't think in context of overwhelmingness. Make it super small and usable for you right now in a real world scenario. Like you're listening to this podcast, hop on and go, what are the top 10 prompts I could ask to help my business grow over the next quarter? Or, give me 3 new marketing ideas for my new car dealership next month to promote new cars or used car sales. And say, before you even give me that answer, why don't you ask me questions to make your output really defined and accurate?
Yeah.
So it's going to know, well, what size market? What brand do you have? How many used cars? What's the competitive landscape look like? Like, it's going to ask you those types of questions to refine that feedback. So I
Yeah.
think that's a place to start for every dealer. I think it's just starting. That's it. I don't think it's go read a book and then figure it out. Look, you know how to tear down motors by tearing down motors. If I gave you the Chilton book, you're still not tearing down motors.
Right.
Like, you just literally have to go start pulling stuff off, pulling belts off, pulling pulleys off, pull the head off, pull the plugs out. Like, you have to go through that physical journey. And today with AI, that physical journey is you asking and collaborating with the technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's putting in the reps for sure. It's
Yeah.
always putting in the reps, no matter what it is you're doing. And certainly in the AI era now, it's put in the reps. And I love that we've talked about a couple of things that are really easy starting points. Like, start to have the conversation. Like, you can make it as easy as far easier than I think probably a lot of dealers think. Like, it's
Yeah.
intimidating. It always has. Anytime there's been a really big substantial technology leap in this industry, there are a lot of dealers that do not want to raise their hand and say, I have no idea what you're all talking about. Like, I'm just trying to sell cars and service cars and keep my customers happy and keep the lights on and deal with all these other pressures and all these other things that are inherent to, retail automotive. And I understand that. I know you understand that too, because you've been in that
Yeah.
seat. And, dealers, they get underwater really quickly. And then it gets to a point where you're never going to find a comfortable place then to poke your head back up and say, oh, where do I start? So I think big takeaway from this conversation now is just start. And you can start in some really easy places to get yourself comfortable. And you can't really do anything wrong in that stage. But you got to start.
Okay, here's a good one for you right now. So you're a dealer listening. Next crisis that happens at the store, car falls off a lift.
Ooh.
Right? So at that moment, service manager comes in and says, hey, Billy, car just fell off the lift. Go in your AI agent, pick the one, Claude, go in ChatGPT, said, hey, new car store, I just had a car fall off the lift. Give me a checklist of all the things I need to be thinking about and doing right now. And I'm going to do this right now because I guarantee this thing is going to say, 1, you're going to have to take pictures, notify your insurance company. 2, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I think it will instantly give us feedback. I just want to try this.
Do it.
I just had a car fall off a lift in service. Give me a checklist for what I need to do. I am a new car dealership. I said I'm a new car dealership in Atlanta too. So let's see what it kicked back.
Okay.
Car off lift. Not a good thing. Okay, ready? Here it is. So it gave us a real basic, which is pretty interesting. Here it is. Dude, oh my God. I wish I could share my screen. So first thing, it basically goes, like, it
You
says,
can share your screen if you wanted to.
Yeah, here. Okay, watch this. So let's do this. Let me share my screen. Hold on. Let me get back.
Protect any tabs from, any
No,
place that you
I
don't,
have it. So hold on a second. Let me
or just
close
share
here.
one screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna share this one screen. So here, watch this.
Okay.
Screen, because this is
Show and
super
tell.
cool. Yeah, show and tell time, right? Okay. So I asked that question. You can see it right here. This is all the context I gave it, Sean. Not a lot, right? One sentence. Well, one run-on sentence. Maybe it's two sentences, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Instantly clear the area, get personnel away from the vehicle immediately, check for injuries, obviously. Call 911 if anyone's injured. Shut down the service bay. No vehicles in or out. No work continues. Secure the scene. Do not touch anything, right? Call your insurance carrier. Call the dealer attorney. Call your GM owner if that's not you. Call the vehicle owner with only but factual, nothing speculative, because this is going to come back to bite you. Call your factory rep if it's a manufacturer-owned vehicle or loaner. Document, photograph everything, video the scene, note the time an incident occurred, write down the names of all witnesses, pull the repair order for the vehicle, preserve the lift maintenance records, preserve the technician certifications. Georgia, I said I was a Georgia dealer, right? OSHA reporting. Do not admit fault to anyone. Preserve all surveillance footage. Do not repair or move the vehicle to insurance. Internal steps. Take the lift out of service. Tag it, lock it out. Look, all of this. I wanted it in a second. I have this.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't perfect by any stretch, but that is a hell of a lot more than any dealer that a service manager walked in would know to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Dude. So that's what I
Yes.
said. Like, use it at the point of intersection where you need to use it. This is why I say if you have a meeting every day, should we walk into that meeting and say, who used AI yesterday? How did you use it? If you have a weekly meeting, should be walking into that meeting, hey, who used AI this week? How did you use it? Good or bad? You are training the people to think about using these tools to be more efficient first. That's where the magic begins.
I love that. That's such a great recommendation. And dealers, now that you're going to start taking that idea from Todd, because he gives them away freely, all these fantastic ideas. You know what? Break the seal on that meeting by showing them what you did with AI this week, right? And all of a sudden now you're going to have a room full of people who know it's okay and you want them to do things, and you're going to have all kinds of ideas happening. And that example that you just ran live on the pod, that is an example of a chaotic scenario in the dealership that within seconds you have a whole bunch of things that bring calm to that chaos. Okay. This is what we got to be like, versus chickens with heads cut off. Just
Yeah, and then
scramble.
you're going to forget things.
Yes, you're going to miss critical steps. I mean,
Right.
it's literally giving you
I could have hit
chapter and
print.
verse.
Buddy, I could have hit print, hand it to my service manager, go do this.
Yes.
Step by step.
Yeah.
Or I could have broke it down and said, what do I need to do as the GM owner? What did my service manager need to do? What should the technician do? And how am I going to handle the customer experience? Like, we could have even mapped it at that level, and everyone had duties right then and there with a checklist. And I say, bring me the checklist back signed at the end. I want to make sure everything gets done in this process in order right now. This is the power of workflows to me. Like, and I feel like these tools are really helpful for us to achieve things more efficiently.
Yeah. Absolutely, they are.
Yeah.
And you're always a fantastic advocate with real world, practical, right, advice. You dish it out all over the place. And as we wrap up another Qore conversation, I'll say thanks to the audience. We always appreciate your time. Never want to waste it. If you are not, as I always mention, if you're not connected with Todd, starting on LinkedIn, you need to go do that today. And then if you want to know more about what Todd does on the day in, day out, check out QoreAI.com. It's QoreAI.com. You will find all kinds of great information there. You also want to look up Todd's book. This will help you really fast. We talked about this on one of the recent episodes, The Intelligent Dealership. We talked about this on a podcast episode previously that you can check out. If you're on the YouTube channel, you can find it right here in the list, no problem whatsoever. And one thing that we haven't done, at least in a little while, is we haven't encouraged you to drop into the comments things that you want to hear from Todd about when it is relative to AI. So no matter where you're seeing this content, if you're actually watching the full episode here on YouTube or somewhere else, if you can drop a comment, please do that. If you see a clip from Todd, because you'll find those as well, and you want to hear from him, or drop him a DM anywhere you're connected with him on social, that always makes sure that you're getting the kind of value from AI conversations that matter to you. And if you didn't get this message strong and clear in this episode, just start. And start in the places that are easy and comfortable. And if you don't even know how to do that, then reach out to Todd. He will not charge you for that. He'll just tell you exactly, go do this, and then call me in a week. And you could actually show and tell him what you're doing before you start doing it in your meetings at your dealership. He's a great guy to do that with. So, Todd, thanks again for your time. Appreciate all of your insights. It's always awesome to talk to you. And any final words?
No, just as I said, thank you so much. Love it. Always fun to get on here and chew the fat, as we used to say a long time ago.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
A long time ago. Well,
yeah.
always appreciate your insights, man. Your leadership with AI and automotive is fantastic and definitely appreciated by a lot of people out here in the audience. So thanks again. And we will see all of you again before you know it right back here for another Qore Conversation.